Can I come back in on that? One of the difficulties here is because, as I said, it is evolving, the science in terms of how we both test this virus and how it operates. And I don't think we should rule out, or there isn't an ideological position saying one form of testing versus another. Each has certain advantages and disadvantages. I had a meeting during the week with some of our health officials actually on the real potential benefits of antigen testing in a variety of different contexts, not just in relation to travel. It has the advantage that it can be very quick. You can have relatively simple. It's not an intrusive. You have a very fast 15-minute turnaround potentially. You may get false negatives where there are certain instances maybe where you might have the virus but you're not symptomatic, you don't have a significant viral load, and in that the testing may not in every instance pick it up, and in those circumstances you have a false sense of optimism. We, the health system, you walk out from whatever and you go straight to a party, and it's that kind of clustered spreading is what a concern would be. But that's not to say that there may not be advances or maybe real benefits or maybe uses of antigen testing which could be done away either complementing other tests or else in various using different timelines, which could make it an effective mechanism. But just if I can just give details, because this is the important stuff, as Minister Naughton said, the latest information, and in many instances here information or you hear different views, but from what I've heard in terms of from the ECDC and the World Health Organization as well as their own authorities, is that it may not yet be at the stage where it can give us real security in the international travel arena. If that change, if the international evidence, if there are the recommendations from the international health authorities come back and say, no, actually, we think it can be used in this way, then we should very much using it. PCR, as Minister Naughton says, has real benefits in that it does have very high accuracy, 98-99% we are told. There's a difficulty in that you may get a significant number of false positives. It has characteristics where it may pick up a trace residue of the virus from some, maybe if you'd had it many months previously. It is also much more expensive. Now, again, that seems to be varying. You hear, or in certain instances in European airports or European countries, where they seem to be able to get the cost down to something like €60 for a test. In other jurisdictions, in other cases, it seems to be more expensive, and the cost tends to vary with the time of turnaround on the test. So you can get a rapid response test. In our own health system, we save that for the most acute health emergency purposes, so you don't want to use that in an aviation area. But that is also continuing to evolve, and what is also being unclear, I'll be honest, is to the capability. I think people will have heard Paul Reid, the head of the HSE, publicly stating this, that there isn't easy access internationally to additional PCR testing. If there is, and this is what we've been trying to find and test out and see, is it certified? Can we get access to it? Where would we deploy it? The PCR, from what our health authorities are saying and what we hear the ECDC and World Health Organization say, it is the preferred testing approach. There are other testing systems, lamping testing systems and others, which are evolving, which may have benefits in terms of high accuracy and higher speed turnarounds. Again, we are not ruling out any application of these. It may only apply, or we may only would want it to apply to a relatively small number of passengers. My preference would be to a system where testing is concentrated on those where there is a high risk, where you scientifically target where is the risk and can we apply it in that location rather than necessarily having every single passenger tested, which would be very expensive, time consuming, impractical in many different ways, and could take testing capacity away from where we need it, which is in our domestic health management systems. So it's that complicated changing landscape around that one issue, which is only one of the issues that we have to address, is the reason why this country, along with others, have had difficulty getting it absolutely nailed down. But we do want to have clarity on that. What I'm seeking is, with our health authorities and others, to get that at the same time that we get a European common approach. It will take time to install whatever protocol or mechanism that is in place.
There will be a serious time delay.
Not serious. You're obviously our interests here. People ask, is Cabinet discussing this? Every single meeting. The most difficult time in our country at the moment is in the hospitality, tourism, arts, travel sectors. That's the focus of government attention, is in the sectors that are actually hardest hit. We recognise aviation travel and all the attendant industries connected to it. So it's absolutely, there is no lack of will in government in a collective cabinet approach to this, but actually it is not as if there was an easy click your fingers, there's the immediate response, then we would have done one that satisfies the health system as well as our interest in getting these hardest hit sectors out of the difficulty. But we will. Thanks,